3, 2, 1, and action. What is up, give me your go. What is up, Travels with Buddy Nation on the Travels with Buddy Station. Today is Sunday, November 27th, the last Sunday in November. I hope everybody had awesome Thanksgiving. Last Thursday was Thanksgiving. And in my last video, I mentioned that, it might be a little too close. In the last video, I mentioned that for the holiday season, between Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, I'm going to be focusing on training the abdominals because it's that time of the year where people tend to overeat and undertrain. And me especially. And so last week I did a couple of abdominal exercises. And this week I'm going to do a few more. And I've been neglecting my abs for the past probably 6 months or so. I mean, I train them once in a while, but I've mostly been training like my back and my shoulders, my arms, my legs and stuff. But I've been neglecting my core. And I noticed that I've been getting my core strength is very weak. I can't do as many sit-ups as I used to, just because I know I'll get my strength back, but just because I haven't been training my core. I haven't been doing sit-ups and crunches that much. So I'm going to slowly, progressively start training my abdominals more, at least once or twice a week. And for today's workout, I'm going to start by doing some planks. And planks are a good warm-up exercise for your abdominals or the whole core region. It's a good warm-up exercise, and it strengthens not just your abdominals, but your core, your arms, and your hip flexors, and all the muscles that you would use to do like crunches and sit-ups and that sort of thing. So I'm going to warm up with some planks for about a minute or two, and then I'm going to do the wheel exercise, which is really good. Now with the wheel, I haven't been training on the wheel for a while, so I don't go too far down to the floor when I do the wheel, where you bring your chest like right to the floor, and then you bring your body back up again. But I only go maybe a quarter of the way down, but I flex my abdominals really hard when I do the exercise, so that helps. And like I say, it's a good warm-up exercise. Eventually, when I do this exercise more often, I'll have a fuller range of motion in the exercise. And again, if you don't, this is a really good exercise for training your abdominals. If you don't have a wheel, you can use like a dumbbell or even a barbell and just roll it. And I'll demonstrate the exercise. And all these exercises I've done before. So if you're following our video, Travels with Buddy, you can always scroll down and check out these abdominal exercises. Then after the wheel, I'll do some Russian V's. This is a more advanced exercise for the abdominals. And I'm going to try to get as many repetitions as I can. I might only get 5 or 10 reps. Normally, I get about 20 or 25 reps. And as a matter of fact, I did a video of me doing the Russian V's about a year or two ago. I think I got 20 or 25 repetitions, so if you're following, you can check that video out. And then I'll finish off with some Nutcrackers, which is a really good, I call it the Nutcracker. I'm not exactly sure the name of the exercise, but I call it the Nutcracker. When I demonstrate the exercise, you'll see why, but it's a really good exercise for your lower abdominals. And I'll finish off with that exercise, and I'll try to get about 5 or 10 reps. Most of these exercises that I'm getting 5 or 10 repetitions with, I'm usually used to doing like 20 or 25 repetitions. The other day, I went to do some sit-ups, and I think I got about 7 or 8 reps. And now typically I do 25 to 35 sit-ups, just regular sit-ups. That's how much my stomach is out of shape. So when you stop training, your muscles get weak very fast. But they also, when you continue training those muscles again consistently, they also get strong very fast. So I'll get my strength back in probably a couple of months. Hopefully by after the New Year's, my core training will be back to normal, and my stomach will be a little slimmer, right, bud? So without further ado, I will demonstrate these exercises, and I want to make sure Bud gets some camera time, so I'll put Buddy in the video for a little bit, right, Bud? And Bud had an awesome Thanksgiving. He had plenty. He had turkey, and he had what else did you have, Buddy? Turkey and spare ribs and a few other things. So then I made sure I took him for a walk afterwards too, because he's got to get his exercise. Huh, Bud? And also remember to keep taking those walks too. All right, so without further ado, I will begin training. I'll start with the plank. And typically, this is a good warm-up exercise. If you can hold it for like 1 to 2 minutes is usually good. I'll try to hold it I'll probably hold it for about a minute or so, because it's a very simple exercise. I'll put Bud in the other room. Buddy. It's kind of like doing a push-up, except you're not doing push-ups, you're just holding your body in a push-up position. And it's a good exercise if you can do it for about a minute or so. Even if you can do it longer, you don't want to do it for more than about a minute or two, because it's a good warm-up it's a good warm-up as you're going into doing your abdominal training routine. So without further ado, I will demonstrate the plank. Basically, you get on your hands and your feet like you're about ready to do a push-up, but you're not really doing a push-up, you're just holding your body in a push-up position. And normally when I do this exercise, I'll use my phone, and I'll have my counter on the phone, and I'll put my counter on there for about a minute, and then the buzzer will go off after about a minute. So I'm just going to count for about maybe 30 seconds or so. I just want to show everybody how to do this exercise. It's a very simple exercise, very effective, and it's a good warm-up for your core, for training your core. That probably wasn't even a minute. I'm not even exactly sure how long I held that for, but I just want to give everybody a basic idea of how to do the plank, and that's basically how to do the plank. It's a very good exercise. It's very simple, but it's very effective. You're working a lot of muscles when you're doing the plank. You're working your triceps, you're working your abdominals, you're holding your body in that push-up position, so you're holding your abdominals, a lot of tensions on your abdominals and your hip flexors, your legs, your front part of your thigh. So it's a good exercise, and it's a good warm-up. If you can do it for about 1 to 2 minutes, is good. All right, the next exercise I'll demonstrate is the wheel. Now this is one of those exercises that I noticed I got much weaker at, because I haven't been training with this exercise consistently. I haven't done this exercise in probably 6 months, but it's a very good exercise. Really hits the lower abdominals, and that's where a lot of people tend to store a lot of fat. It also hits the triceps and your lat muscles as well. And you don't even have to go that far down to the floor. It's about like right here. Just flex your abdominals as you're doing the exercise, especially in the top position. When you come all the way up, you're gonna flex your abdominals. Now let's do about 8 or 10 repetitions, just so everybody gets an idea how to do this exercise. It's very effective. Again, if you don't have this wheel, you can always use a dumbbell and just roll it out, or even a barbell. You know, just put your hands on the bar with two plates on each side. I've seen people do it with a barbell. It's just as effective. It just takes more room, because now you got a barbell, you got a bar and a couple of, 10 or 25 pound plates, and you're rolling it out. But it's a very good exercise. And you just roll it out as far as you comfortably can. And you'll notice that the more often you do this exercise, the further you'll be able to go out and bring your chest closer to the floor without straining. And that's the key. It's a very good exercise. It really hits that lower abdominal area. Just do a couple more repetitions. Alright. And again, I demonstrated this exercise probably a year ago, maybe even longer. And I can't remember how many reps I did. I probably did at least 15 or 20. And I probably brought my body closer to the floor. Again, it's one of those exercises, if you're not used to doing it, it takes a while. And as the more you do it, the further your range of motion will be in the exercise. And you'll be able to, you'll notice you'll be developing more and more strength in your abdominals. And the more strength you develop in your abdominals, the further you'll be able to bring your chest to the floor. And also it works the hip flexors as well. And that's another thing too. Once your hip flexors get stronger, you'll be able to bring your body closer to the floor because you're using your hip flexors as well as your abdominals to pull your body up, from the floor. Next exercise I'll demonstrate is the Russian V. Now this exercise is a more advanced exercise, and again, I did this exercise a couple years ago on the video. So if you're following these videos, you can scroll down and check it out. I think I did like 20 repetitions. I'm not going to do 20 today because, like I say, my stomach's pretty out of shape. So I'll try to get about 5 or 10 reps anyway. The key with this exercise, the Russian V, is to keep your heels off the floor during the entire exercise. And basically you just, I'll demonstrate the exercise and then I'll explain it. So basically, I like to sit on a towel or something just so my tailbone doesn't get too sore from the hardwood floor. And I try to keep my tailbone on the floor during the entire exercise, except for maybe the first rep so I can get that momentum. And I'll try, like I said, I'll try to do about 5 or 8 repetitions, 10 maybe. It's been a while since I've done this exercise. So come along with me. Let's see. You want to keep your heels off the floor. So and this is it's difficult to balance yourself on your tailbone. That's another important part of this exercise. So I got 4 and I lost my balance. Let's do a couple more reps. So I got to work on my technique on this exercise as well. But it'll come back to me because, like I said, I haven't done this exercise in probably 6 months. So my body's so not used to doing it, and it feels like I'm off balance when I do the exercise. I'll do a couple more repetitions. All right, I got 5. Whew. The good thing is, I felt like I had a lot of strength doing that exercise, but I just wasn't coordinated. My muscles just weren't used to doing that exercise, so it was all like off. Like I felt like I was off balance. And the key is you just have to practice doing that exercise. Even if you just do 5 or 10 reps per set, just till your muscles get used to doing that exercise. Basically, you want to tap the floor behind your head and tap the floor on each side of your body to train your obliques. And eventually, I was doing that exercise with like a 5-pound dumbbell in my hand, just going through the motions, you know, when I was doing it consistently, you know, like once or twice a week. But the thing is, when you train and then you stop training and you start training again, your strength comes back pretty fast if you train consistently. It won't take long. It'll probably take about 6 or 8 weeks, and I'll be back to where I was as long as I train consistently with a healthy diet and getting plenty of rest between workouts. Finally, I'll demonstrate the Nutcracker. I call this exercise the Nutcracker. It's a very good exercise for the lower abdominals. I'm going to try to do about 5 repetitions. This is another exercise where it's difficult to balance your body because you're balancing your body on your tailbone, and it really working those lower abdominals. And basically, you just kind of like you knock your ankles together and spread them apart, and hold your body, your feet off the floor, and it really holds the tension on your lower abdominal region. And that's an area, again, where a lot of people tend to hold a lot of fat. I'm going to try to get about 5 reps or so. Again, I've done this video, I think I did about 20 or 25 reps earlier in the earlier videos. All right, whew, I got 20. All right, the hardest thing about that exercise, it wasn't that I didn't have the strength, it was the balance. I felt like I was off balance because my muscles aren't used to doing that exercise. And at least I know that the strength is there. Just like in the Russian V's, just like in the wheel, I can feel like I got the strength. My core muscles aren't coordinated enough because they're out of practice. And that's what happens when you don't train them for a while. But remember, if you like these videos, make sure you subscribe to Travels with Buddy, and I'll be working on abdominal and core strength training throughout the holidays, because I know a lot of people tend to put on a lot of weight during the holidays. So remember, if you like these videos, make sure to subscribe to Travels with Buddy. Remember to keep training and keep taking those walks. All right, everybody, peace out.